Hey guys, welcome to Silicon Valley Girl. This week I had a live stream, a webinar, where I sold my course. And so far, we've made $67,577 in sales. And this is the whole timeline. We're still here. So we have a couple more things that we could do. So I'm hoping we're gonna get to 100K from a single webinar. And when you hear these stories, like I've recently heard there was this girl who launched her course on Teachable and she was able to make $1 million in less than 60 minutes. When you hear stories like this and you think, oh, maybe I should just go live and I will make that kind of money, unfortunately, this is not the way it works. It might work for someone, but when you're selling during a live stream, there's this whole process behind it. And in today's video, I'm gonna show you behind the scenes. I'm gonna go through every single step that I had to take in order to make this amount of money during a webinar. And I hope you're gonna learn a lot from this class. This is like a marketing mini class. So if you're interested, watch this video up to the very end. And I hope it's gonna help you double, triple, quadruple your revenue from your next live stream. So first of all, of course, you need to have a product that you're going to sell. A lot of people are starting to produce their own courses. So number one is the product. And it has to be amazing. You have to love it because this whole journey is a lot of sales. A lot of people tell me, Marina, I don't like selling. This is not what I do. The thing is, there are two things why you might be afraid of sales. Your product is bad, which is the worst thing. This is a good thing that you're afraid to sell then, because your product has to be something amazing, something that transforms people's lives. And when you believe in it, it's really easy to sell. Second, you might be afraid of negative feedback. Like people are gonna think, oh my God, he's too salesy. But if you're afraid of negative feedback, there's this phrase that completely changed my mind. Like I was also like, I don't wanna sell because, if the product is great, people will find out about the product themselves. It doesn't really work that way in a world where there's so much information that we get every single day. This is not the way it works. So I told myself, Marina, when your daughters grow up and they get accepted to Harvard and you tell them, sorry guys, you can't go there because mommy was afraid to sell. Yeah, of course I can tell them like go get a scholarship, etc. But when I think about making money, I think about my kids' future and I think about amazing things I can afford, like amazing education. And again, selling is spreading information about your amazing product. And if the product is amazing, I don't see anything bad in selling the product. Then after you have a product, a course, ideally you have a launch date. Like you have to prepare. If you're like, oh, you can buy anytime, starting today, it's not interesting. People like to follow the journey. And of course, you have to have some kind of audience. Maybe it's 10 people, maybe 20 people. And it could be an email list. It could be on Instagram. It can be on Discord group. It can be a small YouTube, like whatever you have, you start building your audience here. So for example, you decide that your launch date is in 2 months. So you have 2 months where you tell people what's going on with your product, how you prepare, like document every single step. This is me talking to my team on Zoom and we're discussing how many classes we're gonna have. This is me buying this outfit because I wanna be beautiful in the classes that I'm recording for this course. This is me chatting to this amazing professional who's gonna be a part of my course. Like document every single way and make your potential customers know about what's going on behind the scenes. No matter what kind of business you do, I think live stream, like a live presentation, is the best thing you can do to launch a product. Like we all know Apple's presentations, they're iconic. Even for a small product, for a course, a launch is something I realized sells a lot better because for this course, it used to be evergreen. Like you could buy it anytime. And we realized, first of all, there is no community feeling. Second, the sales are smaller. So we decided that we're going to do launches. And this is a great excuse to have this amazing event. It could be even offline. If your audience is local somewhere, then an offline thing is even better. But if you think that live stream is a solution and the best solution, it's the best solution for me, then I highly recommend researching Restream. It's a platform for live streams that is sponsoring this video. The main thing about this platform, that it allows you to stream to 30 different platforms at a time. So you go live, but then you have a YouTube channel. Maybe you want Facebook Live. And all of those platforms, you can go live on them simultaneously, which means the audience that attends your webinar is a lot larger. And you don't have to worry about live chat. Using Restream Studio, you're able to read and reply to messages from multiple streaming platforms on one screen. Using Restream Studio, you can create high-quality live streams with full HD and stereo sound. Restream Studio enables you to invite up to 10 guest speakers, experts, or co-hosts. Customize your stream with overlays, logos, and backgrounds, like whatever I'm doing right now, drawing with iPad. This is, by the way, my strategy for every webinar. We would have a deck that I would upload to Notability in order to be able to draw on it. And I will just have it as overlay on my webinar. So you will see me on the one side and a deck on another. It also allows you to play recorded videos, pre-rolls at any moment while streaming. It will make your live streams look a lot more professional, and you're gonna be standing out in the market. You can schedule the date of time of your live stream so your viewers can set reminders or can stream pre-recorded videos. So basically, you can have one live stream, but then you can create events for people to watch this live stream again. This is maybe because they're in different time zones, or you want more people to watch this live stream because you see that it's converting really well. This is what I call auto webinar, or just a webinar that is pre-recorded, but they can attend it at the same time with other people, which means that you can basically make money when you sleep. The link to Restream Studio would be down in the description box below, alongside with a special discount for Silicon Valley Girl subscribers. Check it out for your next live stream. And this, I call it the whole warm-up process. The longer it is, the better. Like for this webinar that we have here, the warm-up process was 30 days. And in these 30 days, I was documenting that, I just hired this team who are going to help me with marketing. I showed them behind the scenes how I'm preparing for the course. I showed them how I researched my audience, how I'm talking to YouTubers, how I'm trying to find the right way to host this course. Like, document every single step. If something goes wrong, talk about it. Like, it's super, super important. And during this warm-up process, you have two things. You tell stories, and some of the stories need to be wrapped up with a call to action. And the call to action here is join an email list, or leave your email, or join this WhatsApp group. Like, you want to have them somewhere else where the open rate is higher than an Instagram stories or like in a YouTube video. You need to have them in a closed community specifically for this thing. So with this closed community, you get people who are highly interested, because you might have audience from your classmates or people who are like remotely interested in the topic, not ready to purchase yet. And then you won't be bombarding them with emails that they don't need. So you have highly interested audience, and you have higher open rates. Like with email, with Telegram channels, with Discord groups, the open rates are a lot higher. Once you have them in this small group, there is the second process that is parallel to warming up. So on your main social media or on your main email list, you're still warming them up. But there is also a separate email thread that starts talking about your big event, a webinar. And you're like, hey guys, I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so happy you're interested about my upcoming course. I'm going to give a free class. So webinar. I don't like when people just sell during the webinar. So my webinars are always 40 minutes of value. Like my product is a YouTube channel. So I would talk about how to start a YouTube channel, how to tell a story, what camera you need, what equipment you need, how you find the right strategy. And then I sell. And that depends on like the timeline, but it's also like 40 minutes. But it's sales and Q&A. And you know what's really important during my webinar? I always tell people at the beginning of the webinar, like, we're gonna have a 40-minute class, master class. Then at the very end, I'm gonna give you a free checklist of top mistakes that people make when starting a YouTube channel. And in between that, I'm gonna present the next launch of my course, and you would be able to ask me questions. So people know up front, well, they totally realize that if you're hosting a free webinar, you might be selling something in the end. I just wanna make it clear from very early on that this is also a sales event for me. And I am thanking them and I value their time. So I'm giving them a lot of useful information at the beginning. And if they don't want to purchase my course, they can just leave after that. But if they want to, they stay for the sales part. And again, when you're selling on the webinar, very important things you need to remember. There has to be scarcity. So I would always tell like, hey, we only have 100 spots for this course because, well, and this is natural because we have a lot of live tutors and we can't have like 100 of them. We have a limited number of them. Then special offer that's only valid during a webinar. Like if you purchase during this live stream, you get this special discount or you get this extra product or something like this. And you also tell them that, you know, I'm going to sell this course after this webinar as well. But after the webinar, the price will be, I don't know, plus $100. So you have this webinar to secure your special price, but then it's going to be higher. So these help a lot when selling during the webinar. I haven't done that yet, but I like to experiment on my next webinars. When we open sales, like I want to have balloons. I want to make this an event. Like, or maybe I'm cutting a cake, or maybe I'm blowing a candle. I'm launching this new course. I'm launching this new cohort. I want people to feel that they are part of something amazing. And another thing you can do during a webinar, you can also ask them to leave a request. Like if they have any extra questions, ideally you have like a sales department, or maybe it's you reaching out to them on WhatsApp. But if you have any additional questions about the course, there is like a small form where you can leave your phone number and I will reach out to you. Or you can ask them to leave request. So and I'm going to share some numbers. So after this webinar, we got $200,000 worth of requests to be in the course, because every request is like for $400, which is the price of the course. But right now we're still here and we only made 67K. The goal is to make 100K plus. How are we going to do that? Oh, this is so messy right now. But we are in this phase, post-webinar sales. This is where in post-webinar sales, first of all, you publish reviews or you email them to everyone. You're like, hey, we just had this webinar. Thank you so much for your amazing feedback. And then screenshots of people being amazed by your webinar. Second, you tell them, here's the recording. And what we do, we tell that it's only available for 24 hours because again, people, like we want them to actually watch the webinar. And when you tell them, oh, here's the recording, watch it whenever, like they might not watch it at all. So we tell them, here's the recording, you have 24 hours to watch it. And then third, you start actually selling to everyone, but this is going to last for maybe a week, like 7 days. When you say, in 7 days, we're starting the course and you can still enroll. Also say that people who attended the webinar, your price is still, I don't know, $400. But for everyone who wasn't on the webinar, and you can track that, but for people who were not on the webinar, your price is $500. And that's the way it works. During this post-webinar sales period, again, you tell them how you're preparing for the webinar. You're reposting stories of people who enrolled into your course, or you posting their reviews like, oh, I just bought the course, thank you. Then you have your closing date. This is when you need to post a lot, like we're closing tomorrow, this is the last chance. And then once the date is over, so big day, you're starting the course, for a couple more days, because you're going to be launching it again, right? For a couple more days, you post that people are asking you, can I enroll in the course? Still, oh, sorry, I was late. And you answer them no, and you make sure that everybody sees it, that you've told them this was their last chance, and that's it. So this, I call it post-sales period. Post-sales period. This is when you actually highlight how people are excited about your course, how there is still demand for your course, but you're no longer able to let people in. And then during the whole course, before the next launch, please try and post as many reviews as possible, and of course, case studies. When your students are successful, that's the best. So we have 6 more days to sell. I'm gonna follow my own plan here. So we're hoping for 100K plus. And I'm hoping that this video was useful for you guys, this tutorial was useful for you. If you want more details, I would just suggest to follow me on Instagram, because this is where I do all of those things, selling my webinar. So you can just learn by watching me. Whatever I'm doing, you can just copy and try the same thing with your audience. Thank you guys so much for watching this video up to the very end. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to Silicon Valley Girl, and I'll see you very soon in my next business/educational videos. Bye bye.